So today, it's going to be a little bit different. We are actually going to be doing a product shoot. A company called NCW here in Indianapolis, they wanted me to take some photos of some of their products. They sent me a Yeti cup, a duffel bag, and a lunchbox. And notice that they're all black, and usually I have a black backdrop for my product shoots. So I went and got some white backdrops from, local Target. And so we're gonna use that, and hopefully that turns out well. So let's get to the setup. So finished up with the setup. Right here we have a light here and my other light right here. Ideally, we would have a big, soft white light coming here that will diffuse. But luckily, I have a little bit of top light right here. But then also, just gotta focus on the lettering as well, because the cup says "People Matter." I really want to focus on that. So let's get to shooting the Yeti cup. So before you shoot your product, really just make sure that it's clean. So I went ahead and washed it, wiped it with Lysol wipes, paper towels, the whole 9 yards, just to make sure that it's really clean, just because when you have a lighting studio and also a high quality camera, it really captures almost every single dust speck. So make sure that your products are clean before shooting. All right, so kind of just played around with the lighting right here. I found that my lighting source was a little bit too high, and it was creating a lot more shadows than I actually wanted. And then for my camera setup, I am shooting on my 35mm Sigma 1.4. 1 down, 2 to go. We're gonna go to the lunchbox. And this is what it would be if there was a top light. There would be a very minimum shadow, and so work in progress, and trying to get a C-stand and a big soft light, so work in progress. I think we're done with the lunchbox. The lunchbox was a little bit harder just because it's a bigger object, and dealing with shadows and everything is a little bit tricky when it comes to that. But I picked up this little light. Pretty simple. It doesn't really do too much, but paying attention to the detail and the shadows, that might really help, and might make my life a little bit easier. The duffel bag is actually a little bit trickier than all of the other ones. First, just off of the pure size, I had to get another piece of white paper, but then also, since it is a duffel bag, it kind of collapses on itself, so I stuffed it a little bit with some blankets and some clothes a little bit. And then also paying really close attention to the actual detail and the texture of the bag when I'm editing it in Photoshop and in Lightroom. So I think I'm done with the duffel bag. And then with all 3 of the products, I really wanted to capture the contrast between the logo itself, like the dark forest logo, and then also with the black product itself. And I think that I captured it really well, and we'll throw it into Lightroom and we'll see how that goes. So one last thing, I just wanted to show how important lighting is when it comes to content creation. Is the studio fully lit by 2 lights right now. And so if you see the difference, this is it completely normal. When it's not lit, there's so many problems. You would lose a lot of detail in the shot without the lighting. So make sure that you always light your shot. It is a game changer. So now we are in Lightroom Classic. This is where I edit most of my photos. For the Yeti cup, like I mentioned earlier, it's really important to kind of dust off and clean your products, because as you can see, you can really tell every single detail on the cup. Then we have a side angle of the cup just to you know, have some diversity in my deliverables. So with the duffel bag and the Lunchbox, I had a little bit more trouble than the Yeti cup, just because the shadows are a little bit more prominent because they are a bigger object. And then with some of these shots, I actually had to throw into Photoshop to get rid of some of the creases that the white pages actually had. And I really like the contrast that the green and the black and the white had. So yeah, that was it for today's photo shoot. I hope that you guys learned something a little bit about product photography, and if you have any questions, put it in the comment section below, but if not, I will see you guys in the next one.